into the box where?
In chat.
Go to chat and then there's a link.
Okay, if I go to chat, will I get back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would it,
Yeah, as
would it
long as
be-
you don't click the right, you click the right thing, yeah.
would it be helpful to take another 5 or 6 minutes in the groups?
Not necessarily.
No.
Not necessary for us.
Continue to work later.
I think if we could just get a minute to fill in the Google Doc, if you want us to do that now.
Yes, that
It's
would,
hard to do that and pay attention.
Yeah. Let's see, can I do that?
so let's, how many of you have that Google Doc up and are looking at the Google Doc? Who's not?
No, I got out of it.
What does it say?
It says getting organized.
Oh,
Go through this document, discussing as a group and adding comments, questions, and suggestions.
I don't see that.
It's in the chat. She clicked the chat,
It's
I
a,
did.
okay? It should pop up into your Google Doc,
Yeah.
in your deck, a doc across the top.
So
Yeah.
let me
I just went
reiterate.
into chat. I just went into chat. The link is not there right now. I'm not
Oh.
finding it.
Thank you.
It's all the way down to the bottom, and
Down
there
the
should be
bottom?
Group
two of
3
them.
is not in their group anymore.
Optimize for video.
Oh, there it is. Okay.
Deborah, I want to talk to you later, okay?
Okay, so I don't. Yeah,
So you should, Judy, you should be able to simply click on that link that's in the chat, and it should take you to the Google
Oh, I
Doc.
see it. I see it.
Okay.
okay. I do not have it.
Did you open the chat?
Yes, I'm open the
Click on
chat.
it.
It says whiteboard,
Oh,
iPhone, etc. Things like that. I don't see Google Doc anywhere. So I think I'll take, I have to go to another session for
No,
my expertise, I guess.
I think you got too deep into the chat.
Jim, did you put group 3 back in the group again?
Okay, good. Judy, you're now sharing your screen.
Crystal clear audio, even if the lingo isn't.
That's not it.
I know, that's what I'm sensing. Okay. It's okay. We will figure this out.
Yeah, well, we need to have you figure it out so that we're not looking at your screen.
Right.
Could you go to could you click on the other tab? There's another tab there that says so far 17 people have responded. Click on that tab. At the top, very top. Keep going.
Okay, I see it. Yes, do I X out of that?
No, click on the words.
Okay, yeah.
That's not it either. I thought maybe that was.
Okay,
No.
maybe let me try to help Judy, and the rest
Okay.
will just take it easy. All right. So Judy,
Um,
at the top of your screen,
Yeah,
there should be a green box that says
Yep.
you're viewing Judy Lindblad's
Yeah.
screen.
okay, I will. So I stop share, right?
That's right. Stop sharing.
Ta-da!
Hey,
Okay.
Yes, I did something that,
Now, Judy,
great.
Judy,
yes,
at the bottom of your screen,
uh-huh,
there should be a little thing that says security, participants, chat, share screen.
uh-huh.
Okay, what happens when you click on the thing that says chat?
Okay, I think what I did was I did
Are you talking, Jim?
wrong one.
No,
okay.
I've lost your audio again.
Okay, Judy,
Uh-huh,
did
I
you
see
click
it.
on that and you saw the link and you clicked on the link
Yep,
and you see the Google document that says go through this document?
okay.
Okay,
So, no, but part of it is because my glasses aren't working well. So it's okay. We'll figure it out.
now my stomach's not working well right now. Okay.
Okay,
David is
Okay,
lost
I got
now.
it. Okay, here, coming back.
yeah. What do I want to do here? Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Jim, in the chat, the document, same document is listed 3 times.
You only have to click on one of them. We keep
No, I
putting it
know,
back
but how
in there
do
because
we-
people panic.
Yeah, I know. Okay.
Yeah, it took me right there.
Yeah,
That bottom one.
Yeah.
just click one.
Okay, Jack,
It's a
Well-
long series of blue letters.
Jack,
It's a
could you
link.
take a deep breath, please?
Mhm.
I think it's not helpful for everybody to try to simultaneously try to help people, okay?
That's true.
All right. So I think what I'd like to do with the half hour or so we have left is just kind of go through the different sections of this and see where we are. And I'll happily send this as an email to you so you would have time later to add additional suggestions. Would it be helpful if I read the sections in the comments? Or does everybody see that? Currently, we're anticipating 9 sessions on Mondays from May 24th, starting at either 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock Chicago time, and running for 90 minutes. We have been in touch with the folks at Choosing Earth, and they will let us use their study guide curriculum if we choose. I'm participating in the facilitator training. I did that today and will be in it next Monday. Is it all right if
So
we?
what do
use
you
the-
think? You said you participated. What? Say a little bit.
It is a great and serious group of people, and they've been thinking and trying to.
Sound is
You're
gone.
muted.
You're muted.
I think the cat muted me. Yes, I think it's a good idea for 2 reasons.
Muted again.
The host keeps
Okay.
muting me, David. Stop muting me. Are you still not, David's still not hearing. For 2 reasons. One, they're trying to start a broad movement that I think would be interesting for us to participate in.
Yeah.
2, the underlying issue is serious. And the underlying issue is our long-term future is frankly pretty clear. And we've got to get beyond fixing it, being anxious, not talking about it, and have an opportunity to kind of swallow what's likely to happen so we get the interior capacity to live with what we know about our future and its uncertainty. And that's not an easy thing. I tried to have this conversation with my kids and grandkids, and I got one response, and not even no, just we don't want to talk about this. And for me, it's not easy to imagine the world my grandchildren live through. So to me, there's a kind of a spirit issue that it's going to be a little bit like studying Kazantzakis, for those of you who remember that. If we're going to go through this, could we say 7? Somebody said 7:30 for 90 minutes. Could we go with 7:30?
Jim,
David, yes,
do you hear me?
I do. Yes. I hear you, David. Do you hear me? I guess not. One of the things will be figuring out and David has a new computer. Can we say 7:30 for 90 minutes on this one for now?
Hmm.
And it's okay to use the study guide. It's a lot the same as we had. It just has meditation and ritual rather than talking. And they recommend.
7:30.
Question. Oh, go ahead.
Question. Joyce?
Question, can we get that, can we order that study guide, or how do we find it? Or how do we, I know you have a copy, but can we order a copy somehow?
These people have been very nice. They said, well, this is kind of our baby and I'll let you see it because you're leading a study group. And I would have to be honorable, I need to check with them to find out how they would want to do this. I would assume at least if someone's going to take responsibility for a session, they would get that, we'd give them that guide to work from. I'm not myself excited to lead all these sessions.
How many people are in their group? I'm just curious.
In the meeting today, were 13 people.
Okay, so comparable universe.
Well,
So
they're all
what the
people
study
who-
guide would be passed to the person who's going to be leading the next session.
I'll figure that out, if that's
Okay.
all right.
Well, maybe we ought to look at the study guide. Maybe we'd come up with something better. I don't know, or something we'd.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if is it online? In other words, could you share, if you have a copy, can it be shared with our group or not?
That's what I said. I want to check with Colleen
Okay.
and Duane
Okay.
to honor their relationship.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Jack had a question?
Yeah, I will just say that I don't know who the group is, but very few groups outside of ICA are really actually familiar with our ORID and guided dialogue process. And so it will be very interesting to see if it is being used in any way.
I think it would be interesting to look at the process they're using and comment on that and say, is that what we want to do? It's like this group is process people. We all are process people. And so I find myself wondering, is this the process we want to use, or do we want to kind of look at it and say, yeah, it looks great. Maybe a little tweak here or there.
So page
The idea that they use meditation, I like. I prefer silence to actually, depends on what they mean by meditation. But moments of silence really add depth to people's insights, or a little bit of, 3 minutes of journaling add depth to people's latent wisdom.
Jim?
Yes, David. Did you say something, David?
He's solid as stone there.
Yeah.
There he moved.
So okay. I can see us dealing with this question three ways. We could have a group of us use their study guide and just do the 7 sessions. Then we could set up another group. Maybe Jean could set that up and use guided dialogue. And then Barrett could set up a different one using ORID. And we could run that experiment. The other thing, I'm not sure how it would work to have, the other thing we could do is have a different person do each session and have them take the lesson plan that's been provided and tweak it. The downside there is the way it's designed, it's a kind of a deepening journey of going into this material at some depth.
Well, it just seems like maybe we just decide without seeing it to just use their process and go with it and then evaluate it, because they've obviously spent some time on it, care about the stuff, and have done it before. The deal is, though, can we do that? I mean, this group that they have doing it, are they paying? Is it a group that they put together? Do they put these on and you have to pay to go, or?
They are starting to build a faculty, and the group that I was with of 13 people are people who have been through the session, helped revise it, and are now offering to set up their own groups. One of the requirements that's in the study guide is that these be done gratis or for a very minimal fee to cover expenses. They do not want this to become commercial.
Okay.
Which is why also.
Well, can we be one of their groups?
Let me finish. Which is why they are also offering a free PDF download of the book on the website.
You know, it strikes me, this is Nancy Trask, that you could use their scheme, use their curriculum, but if we feel like they're not adding any reflective, I can't believe that they wouldn't be reflective, but if we feel that we are superior in our reflective methods, we could just oomph that up, you know?
Sure.
I like that idea. We could use their process and then just have a closing dialogue, like, you know, some of us facilitate it always anyway, using a guided dialogue on the session as a whole.
How does that sound?
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Sounds good.
Sounds good.
I peeked into one of the breakout groups, and someone was bringing up the nasty reality of Memorial Day, and David himself mentioned the idea of July the 4th, and there are several people not here who want to participate. The strong recommendation is to have a continuous group, and if people can't show up for a session, that they let people know, because it's disruptive to have people bopping in and out. I would suggest on the question of scheduling that we try for Mondays, and then we just skip Memorial Day and we skip July 4th and let it extend on out. Is that all right?
Yeah.
That's good.
That's very good.
What's y'all's wisdom about another question? They recommend this be in groups of 6 to 8, and they're really don't know how to deal with a group even this size. You think we should try it in this large group, which might mean a brief check-in and then breakout groups and dyads and triads and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Or should we just split off and have 2 or 3 separate groups work? What's your wisdom on that?
Jim, can I just say, I think the wisdom is that so many of us are experienced in this. Not everybody, but so many of us are, that we don't need to worry about that. People will catch it, and I'm complete.
I think it's great to have the groups like we did before, but that we come back then and do some share.
Yes.
As a collective group. And if we have their guided process, then we add that sharing part on, and we'd have to try it to see if the timing worked for us. How long are their sessions?
It's
The
time for
key,
90
to
minutes. I'm
doing a
sorry.
whole group is everybody has to have discipline and just say a brief thing and then say, I'm complete.
I'm not saying don't go into
Jack?
separate groups. I was just referring to us. Yeah,
Is the timeline that they suggest an hour or an hour and a half?
They have an outline for face-to-face sessions of 2 hours and online for 90 minutes.
Okay. Okay.
Could we try a group meeting of everyone and then decide if you want to break it up or just do it? That way we'll really know what it's like.
So we'll start, does that make sense? We'll start off in the whole group. Most of the time, I think this is right. Most of the time needs to be spent in smaller groups, really digging into this stuff where everybody has a chance to talk without waiting for their opportunity, which is kind of their outline. And we'll start that, and then as we go, we'll see how that works. Okay?
Sounds good.
Oh, boy.
I think it's great. Yeah, to start off together, break out. It looks like we have enough for 5 groups of 4 or 5 people.
What about folks, what about participation? Again, there's about 10 people who are interested that aren't here. I think we could re-invite them. And should we say it's an iron rule, you have to be here all the time, or we'll be in as many sessions as possible and let folks know if we can't make it?
that one, yes.
That sounds good.
Yeah, because I know I won't be at the first session, but after that, my grandson's getting married.
Hey,
Yeah, this is the problem. This is the problem with this great transition. Life is continuing apace.
We're in the great transitions too.
well, and maybe if we take notes or if something's recorded, if we would be able to at least read through what happened or have a recording of it that could be put out to everybody.
All we have to do is record the session.
Mm-hmm.
How does Jim, how does that work when you're recording the session? How does it work with the small group part? Does any of that get recorded or just the reporting back get recorded?
Just the large group gets recorded, but I think possibly once you're into the small group that any person can record at any time. So I think some of the small group participants can.
I think that Jim or whoever's leading it would need to give permission for small groups to record. I think that's right. But then if you did, we could.
But even if we took notes, if somebody was a note taker, that would help. It's helpful sometimes to just have that written material too.
I think you can make different people co-hosts, Jim, and then those people can record.
That's right. That's what it is. You make them a co-host. That's right.
All right. Woven, there's Martin is offered to participate as a small group leader. One of the feedbacks we got from our last study was we need designated small group leaders because otherwise it takes too long to get started and it just didn't work very well. So we need 4 or 5 or 6 people who'd be willing to be small group leaders. And I would suggest for this that we have consistent small groups rather than mixing people up differently every time.
Mm-hmm.
All right. God, this is a great group of people. So we need, Martin says he's in, and nobody else has said anything.
Jan, can you lead our small group? You're muted.
Oh yeah, there she is.
now when's the first meeting then?
Would be next Monday, May 24th at 7:30. And I need-
7:30 Central? Because we met at 8 today.
7:30 Chicago time, Central Daylight Time.
7:30? I could lead one, small group.
Then we have Memorial Day. Can we just decide what dates, or do we already know?
31st is probably the one we would skip, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So Jim, I can do 24th also as a small group, I guess. That one I know for sure.
All right, we've got Mark, we've got Joyce, we've got Jean. Who else willing to be a small group leader?
I have a question of clarity. Are you proposing that the small group leaders be the same ones throughout the 7 or 8 sessions?
That's my
or
suggestion.
people volunteer?
I don't think that's necessary.
That's my suggestion. And next time we would set up small groups that would be continuous.
With the,
I would think that within a small group, even if we kept the small group, the leadership could rotate. I mean, all of us have been facilitators of lots of things.
Well, I know, but here's my problem. I facilitate a lot, and when I facilitate, I take off my participant hat.
correct. That's my dilemma too. I like to be a participant sometimes.
And so I personally would like to find a way to participate in this because I need to go through the opportunities and dreads of this next 50 years in a serious way to come to terms with it. So I stop being so frightened and paralyzed and unable to have conversations with people I love about what's coming.
Mm-hmm.
How large would these small groups be?
I'm thinking 6 to 8.
Six at least, huh? Yeah.
Were you?
Yeah, I think it should be.
I would think no larger than 6. Otherwise, it gets too hard for people to have.
Well,
talk
also
time.
no smaller than 6 too, because I think you get too small, then it gets to be.
Mm-hmm. 6 is a good number.
Yeah. Yeah,
I agree.
I can lead a small group, Jim, if needed. Yeah.
All right. How about your brothers? Any good?
Again, I think the small group leaders can rotate so that participation can occur. You become a better small group leader if you participate occasionally.
Why don't we just say that first meeting, the group decides how they're going to operate? And they pick their leader for each of the sessions, and they don't have to pick them, do it like we're doing now, pick for the very next session. And people trade off.
I like that idea.
There's going to be work involved in preparing.
Oh.
It's not going to be like show up and do it. There's going to be work involved.
Right.
Work.
But that doesn't mean the leadership each time can't change.
Yeah, if you know a week ahead of time, then you have time to do the work. You know, not a problem.
We need about 3 more volunteers. And we need somebody to back up David and I on the technical aspects of it. Who here kind of knows Zoom and could help with that?
I kind of do.
Who was I?
Susan.
Could you help with that?
Yeah.
Thank you.
The only thing I'm not sure about is how you break out into small groups. I haven't done that aspect. I've done sharing screen and all that, but I haven't. So I need you to tell me what to do.
With this group, it's more like my computer shut off, or I can't find my phone, or
okay.
I got the wrong window.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
All right, thank you. Are there 3 more people who'd be willing to take on a small group?
I'm willing to, this is Corrine. I'm willing to lead a small group for next week through the first session. I know that I won't be able to participate in all of the sessions, so I don't want to take the responsibility for 7.
Anybody
Can we
else?
decide that? Because life changes, so at the end of each session, who is going to lead the next session
Next
and
one.
have the group, small group manage it?
Yes,
I
yes,
think that's good. Yeah.
Because I know I won't be here next time, but I will be here after that, so.
I do not like this at all, but I can see I'm losing to this one. Okay.
No,
We
do
need
you
one
have me?
more person. We
Do you-
need one
do you
more
have me
person
down
for
for next
next
time?
week. Pardon?
I volunteered. Do you have me down for
I've
that?
got Darmalingam, Martin, Joyce, Jean, and Corrine.
Okay.
I'd like 2 more if that's possible.
Okay.
I'll do it. This is Jan.
All right. One more. Da-da-dum, da-da-dum. All right, I'll do it. David, I think, is left. Oh, no, there he is. All right.
Now, we're following Duane's process, correct, as a small group leader?
Right, and I will check with them to see how we get the,
Yeah.
to see how we do this. And if that doesn't, if they're not okay with that, then we'll create a little different plan. All right?
That was one of my points. If he's going to participate, isn't that going to just essentially say that session is out and we're doing it with him? I mean, that's one of my
Not
variables.
necessarily. He's pretty much.
Well, I heard he
Well,
wanted
I
to
remember-
he wanted to participate, and we'd all want to be in that participation. Seems to me.
True.
I don't know. I want to be. I want to
Yes.
hear.
Yes.
Well, maybe we have one of the sessions where if he's here, then we do whatever he wants us to do.
Right.
To see
right,
how
that's what I'm
he does
saying.
it. And then we go another week, you know,
That's what
I
I'm
mean.
saying. No, I don't want to go another week.
Oh, okay.
We have to be flexible in this thing. That's what I'm saying.
But you're not-
I can't eat it.
Jack, Jack,
Anyhow.
Jack, you're unwilling to go another week, but we need to be flexible, the rest of us?
Yeah, I know. I mean, let's.
That's
let's see
right.
what we
As a
need
matter
to
of fact,
do.
that's right. I'm not going to go on personal issues. I've got to be someplace else. But I'm, so I.
What you're
I
saying,
can-
Jack, is what you're
Yes.
saying, you're sometimes not gonna be here?
I don't know. That's my point.
Yeah, well, that's life, yeah.
No, how many people, that's right. And so
just life.
that's
We'll
why I've been
figure that out
quiet.
each
I'm
time.
just waiting. That's why I want to just wait
Wait for what?
for what happens in that night.
Yeah, okay, let's do it.
Back up if I could.
It doesn't really matter if it's small group or all group. If this process can work with this number of people, that the small group dynamic does not necessarily preclude everyone getting to participate. Maybe not share, but there's other ways of sharing. They can share their insights on chat. They don't have to always articulate.
Otherwise, you'd only have small conferences, and people have conferences with hundreds of people that say this was one of the most wonderful Zoom. And later on, I got to see this session, and it really blew me away.
Yeah. So the small group is great, but it's not necessary. We can still have depth dialogues in in this size group for sure.
So what are you saying, Jack? Is it timing that we would have enough time in this to work in a small group and then come back for a full group share? Or that
Ideally, but I think the people are going to say, I really treasured what we said in our group, and I'll try and give you a summary. And the summation is very, very good. But what you say is, gee, it doesn't, the flavor of what happened to us there isn't expressed in the words I'm using. And so you get that frustration, but the feeling of a small group that really catches fire with an insight is unbelievable.
But we'd
That's been
stay in
my
the small
experience.
groups for the whole thing,
No,
right?
then you come back and you say,
No,
these
no,
are a
no,
summary
no,
of.
that, Jack, that's not what I'm saying.
Oh,
For the
okay.
8 sessions, we stay in our same small group.
My suggestion is those who choose to stay in that same group and say, come and say, I would like to hear I love the insights that they gave it the last time. I'd like to pick a different group for this time just to see how different people think, because you get group think sometimes. So I like the ability to choose, but limit and say, I'm sorry, there's only room for one more. And somebody says, oh, I'll change. Go ahead, 2 can come. It's simple. I've done it before.
Well, could we just do a toss up each time? I mean, so we're not having conversation about it, but that we have each time we have a different arrangement of small groups. That's what I hear you saying, Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that would be possible if we have the leader, then everybody just, it could be by chance, you know, or organize small group shifts, but then.
I have often found that sometimes 2 people really bounce back and forth against each other very well, and yet are disciplined not to try and push a group. And so that sometimes is a dynamic that I've experienced, that 2 people just seem to hit it off, and they really like to stay together for 2 or 3 sessions.
All right, there's 8 minutes left. I suggest that Barrett and Jack come back midweek with an alternate proposal for how they want to do this, and then we can divide into 2 groups, and and one of us will have consistent teams and follow along with the guide, and the other group will take on whatever Jack and Barrett's suggestion is. Are there other people who'd like to work with Jack and Barrett to come up with an alternate model?
I wasn't saying alternative process at all. I mean, I think the way we're doing this is just fine. What I heard Jack saying is that if people want to shift groups once in a while, they could do that individually. I don't think we need a plan for it. I mean.
All right, that's an alternate model. How many people want to do that?
I personally like staying in one group because then you get to kind of hash over things and build on what you are doing. I don't find that a problem. The way we get to hear what everybody is saying is if we have enough time at the end to have a plenary.
Which is built into the design, if you notice on page 4.
Yeah.
I'll go with the consensus, whatever
Yeah,
people want to do. I'll go with
we need to go off and figure out another thing.
Yeah, I sort of like the blend, like basically having small groups that stay pretty much the same, but if somebody wanted to switch, it would be totally fine, and people could negotiate that in the beginning and in a quick way.
I don't want to get personal, but I love being with Jean Watts, but after about 2 times, I'd say I need a break. Seriously, she's wonderful, but she has these long pauses in her thinking, which is, I know what she's doing, but 6 sessions of that, I got to get to somebody else who likes to talk differently. That's all. I'm sure people say that about me too.
I will.
Oh, Jack.
I will work with Rob, who has the contact with Duane Elgin, to see if there's an interesting time where he can come in for a plenary or something. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right, and please keep in mind the Choosing Earth website, because that's a direct source and a way to come at this whole thing in a different way.
What is this about a website you just said? I didn't understand.
Choosing Earth website.
I'm sorry.
What?
To look at the whole video. Isn't that what you mean, Jim? I'm sorry, I don't want to interpret for you.
Are you recommending we see the video before next time?
I am. I've watched it 6 times.
What video?
The one that's on the website.
I will
Yeah.
send out an email, and I have recorded this plenary session. If anybody wants to edit it, I'll send it to you. And Ellen was going to close our session.
I invite everybody to enter into a moment of silence. And to reflect on how you will choose Earth. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Night.
Good night.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I would like to speak to anyone who wants to stay on.
Good night.
I'll be glad to. It has to do
Hi,
with
Louis.